Warning, this podcast contains spoilers, but you shouldn't care. Welcome to Hey James, Watch This, a celebration of mediocrity. In this, and indeed every episode, Russ and Fry will try to convince their friend James why he should watch an absolutely unnecessary film. Hey James, Watch This.
Hi everybody, welcome to Hey James, Watch This. I am James.
I'm Russ.
And I'm Fry.
And today, well, I didn't agree to watch the movie last time, gentlemen, so what do you have for me?
James, what we have for you is the Jim Jarmusch written and directed The Dead Don't Die.
Catchy title.
Isn't it, though?
Yes.
I hope you like it. You're going to be hearing it a lot.
They composed a song with that name as well, which plays throughout the movie.
Oh, fantastic. It has its own score. Fry, do you want to give me a little summary of the plot?
So we start off, a couple police officers, played by Adam Driver and Bill Murray, have been dispatched to the woods to confront Hermit Bob.
Character's name is Hermit Bob.
The character's name is Hermit Bob, played by Tom Waits.
Oh, awesome.
Who has been accused by Farmer Frank. Was it Farmer Frank or Farmer Miller?
It's Farmer Frank Miller, but they call him Farmer Frank.
I love these names.
He's been accused by Farmer Frank of stealing one of his chickens. That is our introduction to the movie.
Okay.
There's a little bit of confrontation. The police officers decide to leave Hermit Bob out there. They don't think he actually stole the chickens, and head back into town.
I want to talk about this confrontation.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Can we talk about this police confrontation? So, in what is nothing less than a commentary on white privilege, Hermit Bob both pulls a gun on and fires at the police officers. They do not return fire. Bill Murray's police officer, Chief Cliff Robertson, says, "Now don't break any more laws," and they go back into town.
After being shot at, Cliff calmly says, "That's illegal too," regarding shooting at the police. That was the only thing he says about it. So they head back into town. The characters begin commenting on some of the strange things that are going on. The sun still being up, even though it's after 8 p.m. The cell phones and radios are not working very well.
Right.
And so because they don't have any... they can't communicate back to base. The radios aren't working. The cell phones aren't working. They put on the radio, and we hear The Dead Don't Die, the song I mentioned before. They're going along, and this is just one of the kind of introductions to the sort of movie it's going to be. Bill Murray's character says, I feel like I've heard this song before. And, of course, the song played over the opening credits as the movie was beginning.
So it's already meta, and this is like, what, the first 5 minutes of the film?
We get 9 minutes before your first fourth wall break.
Did Tom Waits sing the song?
Unfortunately, no.
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
And Adam Driver's character, Officer Peterson, just calmly comments, "Well, yeah, it's the theme." And they continue driving on into town. Yeah, so they get to town. At this point, we meet some of our other characters. I think at this point we go to the diner second. We're introduced to a few more of the town's characters. We meet Farmer Frank,
okay,
played by Steve Buscemi, wearing a red cap with white text that says, "Keep America White Again."
Wow.
Or "Make America White Again."
He is sitting next to Danny Glover in the diner.
So this movie was made fairly recently.
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
So, you really get a very quick introduction to the type of character that Farmer Frank is.
I think we're getting an introduction to a lot of interesting things about this movie.
And in case you needed anything further, his last moment in that scene, the waitress asked him if he wants any coffee to go. And he responds, "No, I've had enough. It's too black for me."
Oh my goodness.
And then he looks awkwardly at Danny Glover's character and says, I mean too strong, and leaves. Just awkwardly runs out.
Wow.
During that scene, we also have a news report in the background that's kind of, there's this, it was mentioned that some odd things were going on. And so in the news report, we hear that polar fracking has been blamed for some of these things that are going on, but scientists assure us it has nothing to do with the weirdness happening. So of course it's the cause of everything going on.
Polar fracking?
Polar fracking has altered the Earth's axis.
Okay.
And not to put too fine a point on it, this is going to cause the dead to rise.
I feel like, from what I've learned so far about this movie, I'm not going to try and get into the nonsense science behind that.
I would not recommend you.
It seems like a waste of all of our time.
This was, Fry brought this one to my attention, and I had somehow I remember kind of vaguely seeing a trailer for this or a teaser or something ages ago.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not familiar with Jim Jarmusch's work, and Fry wasn't, hearing that Jim Jarmusch directed a zombie movie is like being told Martin Scorsese did an episode of The Muppet Babies. Like, this is bananas as a film concept.
I'm not familiar with his other work.
So he is an art house director, to say the least. The last picture I saw of his was a vampire movie called Only Lovers Left Alive, and it's great. Like, what would vampires actually be like? They're immortal. They spend most of their time lazing around in long shots.
Right.
It's a really good take on the vampire genre. And it's like, and he's doing zombies. How's that gonna play out?
So this is a zombie movie from an art house director with Tom Waits and Danny Glover
And RZA.
Strong choice, guys.
I mean, we're not even like halfway through the people in this. We've got, Bill Murray and Adam Driver as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Bill Murray.
I feel like at this point I should introduce Tilda Swinton's character.
Tilda Swinton is in this too?
Yeah.
Russ, did they make this movie just for you?
Did they make this movie for me?
Okay. And me, kind of, it sounds like.
Well, so Tilda Swinton's character is the new mortician in town.
Oh, perfect casting.
She is Scottish. And she is a master of the Japanese katana.
A Scottish Buddhist samurai mortician played by Tilda Swinton, and her character's name is Zelda Winston.
You gotta be kidding me. Come on. Did you guys make this movie up to get me to
Wouldn't
get me to watch it?
Like this movie, if there wasn't a movie made for this podcast...
Oh my goodness!
It's absolutely perfect. When I read about it and saw the cast of characters in this, I was like, we have to talk about this movie on the podcast.
Wow.
Rosie Perez plays a news reporter, and her character's name is Posey Juarez.
Rosie Perez is in this too?
RZA.
What was the budget of this movie? How did they get all these awesome people?
But Jim Jarmusch is like this. Like all of his movies, he casts. Like, I think he just casts his friends and they go to like a location, hang out for a month and just shoot.
He just knows all of Hollywood and he's really easy to work with or something.
But he reuses people all the time. Like Bill Murray's in everything he does, and Tilda Swinton's in everything he does. And RZA is driving a UPS truck that is called Woo PS.
Of course it is.
And the Wu-Tang logo is sewn onto his shirt. Like, this movie has all the subtlety of a brick to the face.
But it sounds like the way that it's handling it that's exactly the appropriate amount of subtlety.
And I couldn't figure out why this movie performed so poorly. Like the reviews are garbage, and like it made no money at the box office. And then I went back. So I watched the movie first, and then I went back and watched the trailer. And you can tell that even whoever cut the trailer together had no idea what to do with it.
Ah, okay.
Like, they don't know whether to sell it as an action, as a comedy, as an art house. Like, it is all over the place.
And it feels like the studio didn't know what to do with it either. They dumped it out on a weekend in the middle of the summer with a whole bunch of other fairly big studio summer releases at the same time. Like, that was the same weekend X-Men Dark Phoenix came out, which is nothing to celebrate. A couple others as well. And I didn't even hear about this movie until we were looking for things to watch for the show. So they clearly didn't do a lot of advertising behind this at all.
Russ, why should I watch this movie? Tell me about some of your favorite moments.
To some of my favorite moments. All right. So it is set in Centerville, Pennsylvania, which may or may not be a real place. I'm not sure. But this town is just small town America. And the Welcome to Centerville sign is captioned, Centerville, a real nice place.
Yes.
The only people who know what's going on are the incarcerated children of color, who are far and away the smartest ones in the room. They hear the first news report about polar fracking, and they immediately say it's going to end the world. I also want to... I said they were incarcerated.
Mm-hmm.
They are in the Centerville Department of Corrections, and so that means their jumpers are emblazoned with CDC.
Okay.
Tom Waits, at one point, delivers the line, "Now that's what I call a murder of crows."
This almost feels unfair. Like this.
Adam Driver drives a red smart car, and at one point drives it urgently.
A smart car?
And you have never laughed until you have seen a smart car being driven urgently by Adam Driver. Adam Driver has a Star Destroyer on his keychain. That is commented on by Tilda Swinton's Scottish samurai.
Oh, so it's
Buddhist
not enough to have it
mortician.
in the scene. They have to bring it up and talk about it.
Farmer Frank's dog is named Rumsfeld. The sheriff, the chief of police, has to keep a dead body in a jail cell, for it to rise, because the town is so small, there's only 2 freezers at the mortician's place.
Huh.
Iggy Pop is in this movie.
You have to be kidding me, really?
He does not wear a costume. He's wearing zombie makeup, but he is in Iggy Pop's performing costume. This is the most self-aware movie that has ever been made.
Clearly.
I'm not going to introduce my philosophical argument at this point, but I think those are, I think those are my highlights.
All right, thank you. Fry, why should I watch this movie?
So there are just so many just hilarious scenes throughout this movie. One of the ones I want to spend a minute on, after the first zombie attack in the diner, 2 people are killed by Iggy Pop and another zombie. The police get there, and there's only 3 police officers in the whole town. So one at a time, they each go in, and then word for word have the following conversation with the bystander every time. It looked like something like a wild animal, or maybe several wild animals. Word for word every time, and then later that is repeated on the news again in a follow-up moment.
Is that some kind of symbolism, or what? Are they trying to say something there, or is it just a running gag?
I just saw it as a running gag. I just thought it was pretty funny.
Okay, cool. I like running gags.
Yeah, but just the slow, methodical way that scene plays out, because you see Bill Murray's character get there and have the conversation, and you see Adam, in many movies, in other movies, they wouldn't have done that, and they just would have caught the other late arrivals up to where they were.
Right.
Instead, we then see Adam Driver's police officer go in and come out and make the same conversation. And you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty funny. And then the third police officer shows up, takes her time walking in, takes her time coming back out.
This third police officer is Chloe Svini.
Yes.
So hold on. I have a question about Adam Driver's character.
Yeah.
He's a police officer.
He is a police officer.
And he drives a smart car?
Yes.
And he drives a smart car.
Like for work?
Well, I think the town only has one car. One
okay.
police car.
Right. Sorry, continue, Fry.
From the moment Chloe Savini's police officer shows up, the scene is going to play out again exactly the same way.
Yes.
And the movie does not rush it. The movie takes its time. She slowly walks in there. She comes back out. She has to gather herself for a minute before delivering the lines that are coming because you've just heard them twice.
I like that deliberacy.
That scene, for me, Fry, played out like that meme I saw where there's a man laying lifeless on the sidewalk and a guy dressed as a banana is seen approaching from the distance, and you get to watch him walk down the entire sidewalk, man dressed as banana, and then he gets to man lying on the sidewalk and slips and falls. but like the comedy isn't that he slipped and fell. It was that you waited for him to slip and fall.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yeah. The other thing I like about this movie is you're not going to predict how the movie itself plays out. And I thought I might illustrate some of that with I don't know, this just occurred to me. Let's play Two Truths and a Lie, James. I'm going to tell you three things in this movie. 3 things that could have happened in this movie. And you tell me which one of these is true, or which 2 of these are true and which one I made up.
Okay. Sounds good.
At the end of the movie, Bill Murray's character ascends up to the heavens and leaves Earth behind.
Okay.
Near the end of the movie, Tilda Swinton's character is picked up by a UFO and leaves the planet.
Okay.
Adam Driver and Bill Murray have a conversation in the run-up to the end of the movie where Bill Murray asks how Adam Driver knows what's going to go on, and he tells him, well, the director gave me the whole script. And Bill Murray's character complains, I only got my scenes.
Okay. I'm going to go with, this is a trick question and all of that stuff happened.
Sadly, no. The first one was a lie, but the other 2 absolutely happened in this movie.
Excellent.
The UFO really got me quite by surprise.
But in terms of fatalism, Fry, it should be noted that Adam Driver, despite receiving the script, didn't know that was going to happen.
That's true.
Pretty good. Okay, Russ.
Yes.
What do you have to tell us philosophically about this film?
This is peak meta-cinema.
Yeah.
Like that's not so much the philosophical argument, but as far as cinema referencing itself, and for any viewer out there unfamiliar with the term, I can quote Fernando Canet about that. A method whereby cinema looks at itself in the mirror in an effort to get to know itself better. And boy, this cinema knows itself. Jim Jarmusch is does quite a bit with really self-referential cinema.
Right.
And you can't bring up self-referential ideas or self-knowledge without, of course, mentioning the great philosopher René Descartes, who is so famous for bringing up the idea of I think, therefore I am. What I want to mention about this argument and in terms of this film is that with this statement, he understands that, quote, he is precisely nothing but a thinking thing, that is a mind or intellect or understanding or reason, not the concatenation of members we call the human body. And so I think, therefore I am, only means that you exist. You could bring up the argument, maybe we're living in a simulation. And that doesn't matter, because even if everything we perceive is a lie and we are living in a simulation, there still has to be a you to receive the lie.
It doesn't matter if it's gloopy or bits and bytes, yeah.
And so what this movie does is it realizes that it is itself a thinking thing. There are characters that almost become lucid dreamers in the thinking thing. And once you realize you can break the rules, and once you realize you're in a movie, you can get away with anything. And there's one character that does that perfectly, that makes their own rules as they go along, and they refer to other characters universally by their full names. and like, spoiler alert, but who cares? It's Tilda Swinton's character.
Yeah, okay.
She never refers to Cliff or Officer Robertson. It's Chief Cliff Robertson every time she speaks to him, because that's what he's called in the script.
Right.
And so at one point in the movie, she literally hacks the Matrix to escape.
I'm guessing she just rewrites part of the script.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, guys, I don't want to mess around anymore. I'm definitely going to watch this movie. I don't, this sounds amazing.
I have no idea how this movie got made, and 2, how it flew under my radar for so long.
Yeah. This sounds like the kind of movie that we would have already watched if we knew about it.
Yeah.
I have a couple of other things queued up here. I want to quote from this one review by Charles Andrews writing for The Crescent. In The Dead Don't Die, the ragged semblance of a plot begins with Hermit Bob, brackets played with gusto by Tom Waits, an off-the-grid outsider who becomes our frame narrator. Bob is something of a stand-in for Jarmusch, operating like other lo-fi heroes in the Jarmusch canon, such as, and I'll skip a bit here, a collection of random characters and unfinished plot arcs radiate through the film, which includes a trio of teenagers from the city, a horror-literate convenience store worker in a Nosferatu t-shirt, and a group of children imprisoned in a juvenile detention center. This last group, which deliberately evokes the Trump administration's child separation tactics along the border, is left painfully stranded in the narrative, where escaping from their prison into a world of zombies seems a meager victory. This film is heavy-handed in everything it does and relishes in it all the way.
What was the rating from that review you read?
This reviewer didn't care for it.
Yeah, it sounded like they were complaining about the stuff that I think is going to be great.
on IMDb, The Dead Don't Die is currently sitting at 5.5, and on Metacritic, it's currently sitting at 53.
So right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
I have a feeling that I'm going to have a much better time with this movie than the people who rated it so poorly did.
Oh, and I want to quote RZA's character in reference to the whole film. The world is perfect. Appreciate the details.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have a chance. You started out and you were like, well, Tom Waits in it. And I was like, well, all right.
And honestly, when I kicked off the movie and I was watching it and Tom Waits appears within 4 minutes, I was like, oh, this isn't fair.
Yeah, no, it's not fair. I have to see it. I love Tom Waits and I love Danny Glover and Tilda Swinton and all. Like, there's no way I wasn't going to watch this movie. That's okay though. You never know until you watch them, right?
Yep.
Originally, I wanted to approach like a philosophical argument of something being less than the sum of its parts. Mm-hmm. But as I got to the end of the movie, I realized that didn't quite work because it's not a movie about zombies. It's a movie about filmmaking.
Right. Yeah, exactly. All right. Fantastic. So Fry.
Yeah.
I have a sort of a proposal for you. I want to know your perspective on something.
Okay.
So would you tell me about the works of Michael Bay?
About Michael Bay. Well, I can't exactly say I'm an expert in Michael Bay's film.
Oh no, you don't get to do that. You have to make stuff up.
I have to make stuff up. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Michael Bay is best known, I think, worldwide for just blowing stuff up. Every scene, every movie, in every scene in every movie he has ever directed ends with an explosion.
Yes.
Which of course makes him the most expensive filmmaker for studios to work with in Hollywood history. He's blown up buildings, he's blown up vehicles, he's blown up people, he's blown up vehicles that turn into people. He's blown up vehicles that turn into dinosaurs that were fighting vehicles that turn into people. He has never met a part of a movie he could not blow up.
I have a two-part question for you, Fry, with your depths of knowledge of Michael Bay.
Of course.
Part one. Is Michael Bay a sentient explosion wreathed in flesh?
I think his parents were sentient explosions, and his movies are really trying to say something about being raised by sentient explosions, but I don't think he himself is.
Question part two. I heard that Transformers, all of the Transformers movies, used no CGI, and that was accomplished purely with practical effects. True or false?
False, but not in the way you would think. All the Transformers are, of course, practical effects. However, they were much too dangerous for people to be around. So the people are filmed in green screen and then put into the scenes with the Transformers. And again, also that helps with the explosions that are constantly going on throughout these scenes. You can't have the people around them or they will be exploded.
I have a question. Did you see, I can't remember which one, they're all the same. I think it was like the second Transformers movie he made.
I couldn't tell you if I saw it or not because they're all the same.
There is a scene in it, and I don't remember exactly which one it was. I think, the first one and then one other one, and I was like, yeah, no. There is a scene in it wherein two of the Transformers are hanging out in an alleyway. I don't know how they fit, but, whatever. And they are let's just say, speaking in urban slang, and well, it's racist. It's extremely racist, stereotypical.
Oh, that one Transformer
portrayal.
that he like wears the chains and stuff.
And gold teeth, and yeah.
Yes.
And my question is, Fry, my question to you is, do you think they're like that on Cybertron, or is that something they picked up on Earth?
I think they're like that on Cybertron, and in fact brought their culture here to Earth.
Oh, you think they started everything?
Yes, yeah, they started everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, my other question is, do you think Michael Bay is racist, or do you think he is trying to point a lens at us to show us how bad all the rest of us are? Russ, shh. He won't know it's a joke if you don't say it.
I think the only answer to that question is of course both.
Fry, I want to play Michael Bay, Two Truths and a Lie with you.
This will be good.
Choose the recording artist with whom Michael Bay has not made a music video. Tina Turner, Meatloaf, Lionel Richie.
I'm going to go with Lionel Richie.
It was, of course, a trick question. Michael Bay has made music videos for all three of those artists.
Really?
He's been in quite a few music videos, actually. And as I recall, in at least one of them, he was playing like a bro college dude because, do what you know, I guess.
I didn't realize that, aside from his work as a one of the most important film directors of our time, that he has also dabbled in music videos. Fascinating.
When you look at, I have never met Michael Bay in person, but when you look at him either on video or in photos, does it not look like he would smell like the entrance to an Abercrombie and Fitch?
Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%.
I like this game.
This is kind of fun. Does anyone have any other topics they want to tackle? Any movies or television shows or anything like that you want to talk about?
Well, I will say, just as a brief, continuance of the discussion of Michael Bay and the Transformers movies, I really did enjoy I think it's Bumblebee was the name of it, the more recent, smaller scale Transformer movie.
Was that a pun? Smaller
not
scale Transformer?
Yes.
Fry, are you trying to bring puns into the show? We don't do puns here.
Puns are the highest form of comedy.
You scumbag.
Next week we only will be discussing puns. But yeah, no, I honestly, I think it's unlike the other Transformers movies that just devolve into everything is exploding and all the giant robots are punching each other nonstop. The Bumblebee movie's actually kind of a fun little, fun action movie. So if you hadn't watched, I don't think I could ever convince you to actually watch it, especially with all the damage.
It's another challenge episode, potentially.
Especially with all the damage the other Transformers movies have done to...
I would say everything that Michael Bay has done since The Rock, and if you go back and watch The Rock, it's not great. It didn't age well, is I guess what I was going to say. You're saying Transformer movies? I'm saying every movie he's been involved with has, in some way or another, reduced my opinion of his film. And I know it's personal taste, but I really don't like him. But I haven't seen Bumblebee, so it is technically available for you guys to challenge me on.
That'll be a hard one. I think we know we'll be...
if you guys are feeling, you guys are feeling froggy and you want to jump, maybe some week.
Yeah, I think that would be a fun one to do in the summer, maybe. Have a nice action
movie. Yeah, it would be
done.
like a summer blockbuster movie, right?
I have a question.
Yes.
Since everything is closed and no one is going anywhere, why now did Netflix choose to release the new seasons of Unsolved Mysteries? Because, dang, I am just down a rabbit hole with these things.
I've only seen a couple episodes from the first season. Is it pretty good, the new season?
Did you, it is, this
I didn't
is
know
a
that show was still being made.
It is by Netflix. And if you want to play armchair detective, dear Lord in heaven, the narratives are kind of skewed in the direction that the producers want you to think, and this, that, and the other. But episode 1, the Ray Rivera story, oh my Lord! If you want really to good. Be glued to Wikipedia, Reddit, and looking at Google Maps of where this guy lived for the next 18 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Watch yourself some Unsolved Mysteries, because, oh my lord.
So you've been cyber stalking some disappeared people.
You can't not. Well, he's not disappeared. They found his body.
Oh, he died. Okay.
But how it got there is...
Was that the one in the hotel?
That was the hotel one.
Oh, that was a hell of an episode. That's part of the reason I've only watched a few of these, is it feels like the introduction to a project that you're never going to be able to finish.
Well, it sounds like I need to check this show out.
You're going to watch these episodes, you're going to pull up Google Maps, you're going to figure out, well, if you were walking from here to here, how long would it take, and where would you go?
No, they said they saw him on security footage at 9:39. He couldn't have been there.
And before long, it's 5 a.m., and you've got like a whiteboard with strings connecting things, and you realize you were supposed to do some work at some point in the last 3 days, and it's just all down a rabbit hole. And then you watch the next episode. It's crazy. It's really good.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'll check that out. Sounds like fun. Excellent. Well, really good work this time, gentlemen.
Oh, we had a question. So we record this on a Saturday, and next Saturday is Halloween. So do we want to do one more horror or switch back to regular movies?
Oh yeah, because it'll come out the next week. So
Yeah.
I think it's got to be a regular movie.
Regular
and
movie?
we can also change the day if we need to.
All right, give us a genre, James.
Oh, good point. I get to pick again. This is so fun. What if we not done? Why don't you do? This is going to be challenging, but why don't you do drama?
Oh, okay.
Drama. Okay.
An unnecessary drama. Okay, the mind reels.
Yeah, and I don't really like drama movies, so this one might be kind of tough. Excellent. Well done, gentlemen. Do you have any thoughts you'd like to leave everyone with before we sign off?
Vote.
Yeah, go vote. Well done this week, gents. This was a slam dunk on your end, an extremely solid recommendation. Thanks, everybody, for listening to Hey James Watch This. Have a great day, and don't drink bleach.